Welcome to this episode of Chattin with Staxx. I'm your host, Bill Staxx, and today we're going to talk about this lady. So, she was charged. Before we get started, make sure you hit the like, subscribe, and notification bell so you can get my videos every time they drop. I appreciate you taking the time to come and watch my show. I got a lot of good stuff for you guys. So, we're going to talk about this woman. She was charged. She's a nurse, and she was a nurse in a correctional facility, and she's charged with leaving an inmate to die. And we're going to get into the story. So a nurse at the detention facility in California, has been charged with involuntary manslaughter after being accused of walking away from a 24-year-old inmate who collapsed on the floor in her cell before she died. Danielle Pasqua faces up to 4 years in prison if convicted. This is her. And it says, stemming from November 2019 death of Elsa Serna, Los Calinas detention facility in San Diego suburbs. So she was arrested and she was brought to the facility. The day before she died, she was moved to the jail's medical observation unit after reporting she felt dizzy and nausea. According to the prosecutors, Serna passed out in front of Pasqua, and she just left her there. Passed out in front of her, and then the next day, and the nurse did not check on her vital signs. Instead, she left her on the floor for about an hour before returning with deputies before beginning life-saving measures. But they ultimately failed. District Attorney's Office said San Diego County Sheriff's Department alerted prosecutors to the case after conducting its own internal investigation. The Sheriff's Department offered condolences to the family in a statement Thursday. Insane. Can you imagine? What's going on, everybody? Montauk. What's up, man? Gianni, what's good? How you guys doing? I'm chilling, man. You know. This crazy case. So I got two cases for you guys today. I don't have a lot of time. I got minimum time, but I'm gonna bring you some real good ones today. I got two cases for you, and let's finish this one. So this is her family that was that the sheriff's office sent their condolences to. It's insane. I send my condolences to the family. It says Pasca scheduled to be arraigned November 18th in District Attorney Office did not immediately respond to an email. The Sheriff's Department initially said Serna died from complications of drug use was a contributing factor. And it says she was pregnant. Her family filed a federal wrongful death lawsuit against the county. Wow. It says jail staff knew she had used heroin before she was booked, and she was vomiting and showing obvious signs of medical distress, but did not provide her medical treatment. There is nothing more scared than the sanctity of life, and when that life in the custody and the care of the government, it must be safeguarded and provided with an appropriate medical care, San Diego County District Attorney Summer Stevens said in a statement. The evidence in the in-custody death of Elsa demonstrates criminal negligence that contributed to her death. It is a heartbreaking case of failure to safeguard Elsa's life from those in charge with that responsibility. Insane, man. What's going on, Steve? How are you? Thank you guys for joining me. The next story is even crazier than this one, but it's nothing like this one. Not at all. What's good, Gianni? Yeah, a lot of craziness going on, right? This lady, straight disgracia. You got some cases like that up there, I'm sure. People die in prison all the time. And I mean, you have to write a request to even go to the doctor. So, like, how far are you gonna get with that? You know what I mean? In the cell guarded, just watched horrible. Young girl hung herself in the cell guards, just watch. Yeah, they don't care about people in there. What's good, big boy? Blue, how you doing, man? It's insane. But she's only facing 4 years in prison for this. And now the family has to grow up. They have to grow up without her, you know? It is what it is, life. But it sucks. But these stories got to get out there. People got to know what's going on in these facilities, because if it goes unchecked, if it goes these stories go untold, then what happens to the next people in there who need medical attention? It says her death is also subject to federal wrongful death lawsuit filed against the family, filed against by Cerna's family. The family alleged jail staff were aware of her substance abuse and subsequent withdrawal symptoms, but did not provide her treatment. Although Cerna was fainting, low blood pressure, and vomiting, displaying odd, incoherent behavior, jail staff ignored obvious signs of medical distress. Insane. Crazy, man. She was only 24 years old. Terrible. Again, my condolences go to the family. We got another case for you. This one is creepy. You guys are going to be like, what? I don't know if you guys heard this case yet, but let's get into this case. So, a woman, she was a grandmother, was discovered in the stomach of a snake. A snake ate a woman, and they found the grandmother in the stomach of the snake. Let me show you some of these pictures. This case is insane. All right, let's get into it. So, how a python, how a python ate a woman and left hardly no trace of the fierce attack. Uh, News of a pickup truck sized reticulated python killing and swallowing a woman whole in central Indonesia, eating her, even her clothes, has made headlines all around the world. But how often do these snakes eat people? Very frequently, it turns out. In natural environment, it is incredibly rare. David Panning, an assistant professor of biology in Missouri State University, it's probably more rare than snakes injuring among people who have big pythons and boas. Take proper safety precautions. The snake, however, these fatal attacks are not unheard of. In the wild, giant snakes eyeing people as potential prey may increase as humans clear more wildlife and habitats and create farmland and homes. But I'm going to read you that story. It's insane craziness. There's a video on this too. Like, there's a video of them cutting um cutting the snake out of cutting her out of the snake is what I'm saying. There's a video of them cutting her out of the snake, and she's already passed away. I'm not going to play that video here, obviously, but here is the snake, and here's the guy trying to get it off or whatever, trying to mess with the snake. And then there's a video, I think it's on YouTube. You guys can look it up. I'll leave it in the description of this video. It's pretty crazy. She was strangled to death, hearing her bones cracking. Can you imagine, man? And she was a grandmother. They swallowed Granny whole. All right, so let's get into the snake attack story. How did this happen? It says, Python swallows woman in her farm. All right. Tiba, her name was Tiba, Tiba, went missing while tending to her vegetable garden near her village in Muna Island in this Sulawesi province on Thursday. When her family went to look for her, they only found belongings in the garden, including her sandals, a machete, and a flashlight. Villagers subsequently launched a search for her, and they were horrified to find a 23-foot python that was severely bloated belly just 50 yards from the garden. So it was laying like right kind of near where she was. Her sandals were laying on the ground, a machete and a flashlight. And this is all they see when they roll up on the scene. A big python with a huge stomach. Now, how long it took them from when the python attacked the woman to where they took her out of, to where they found the snake, I don't know how long that time was, so I don't know if there was a chance they could have got her out. But if it swallowed the woman whole, I'm sure it wrapped around her, and they suffocate their prey. That's what they do. Every time their prey breathes in, it squeezes tighter. They breathe in, it squeezes tighter, and until it just suffocates you, and then it'll swallow you head first. Craziness. Like that's a person inside that snake. Crazy to think about that. So, villagers killed the snake and they cut the head off it. And when they cut the belly open, they found the woman's body was intact, wearing all of her clothes. Local police chief, who was the only one named, was likely Indonesian, said residents were suspicious the snake swallowed the victims, so they killed it and then carried it out of the garden. The snake's belly was cut open and the body of the victim was found inside. Local villagers, everyone cried and was in shock. It looked like a horror movie. The people are terrified and afraid to go outside. Shit, I'd be afraid to go outside too if they had those out there. Can you imagine that? You're in your garden, next thing you know, you got one of these things wrapped around your neck. No, thank you. I'd rather deal with crazy people. No, thank you. But if you guys want, I will. I'm gonna get the video. And I will tag it in the description of this video if you guys want to go check it out for yourself. I got a lot more videos to come. I have a lot more guests coming. Things are looking great. I was supposed to do a live tonight, but things got you know how that goes. All right, I'm putting the link in there if you guys want to go check it out. Bam. The link is in the description. You guys can just follow the link, click on it, and then go watch the video if you want to. But you ain't going to see it here. So, yo, I appreciate everyone who comes and checks out this video. I have a lot of other things. No, she was not sleeping when they when it attacked her. She was not. She was out in the garden and she was going to pick vegetables in her garden. It was nighttime. She was out there with a flashlight. Why would you do that in Indonesia when you know these things are out there? It's crazy. And she went out there to forget about it. She went out there to pick vegetables. She had a machete, a flashlight, some sandals on, regular clothes, and the snake must have just grabbed her. She dropped the machete, and then it wrapped around her. She couldn't get it off her. I would have held the machete, started chopping it off me, right? Try to chop it off my own self, chop my arm off in the process or something. But listen, I have the most incredible interview. It's like groundbreaking. This interview that I'm going to be doing on my show, it's going to be dropping Friday. Groundbreaking. If you guys ever felt like, you felt depressed, you felt suicidal, you felt like in those moods, you want to watch my show Friday. Don't miss it. Make sure you hit the like, subscribe, and notification bell so you could get my videos every time they drop. And don't forget, doing an interview on Lee Coast tomorrow. Come check it out.